ठेवू देऊ?
हॅलो.
हॅलो.
हा, संकेत आणि हेमंत दोघे पण आहात ना?
हो.
ओके, ठीक आहे, एक मिनिट. Okay, so now we have to start with the next topic. Like in last lecture, we had seen the concept of joins. Okay, and today we have to cover the next concept. But just a minute, I'll start the WAM server first. Okay, so now we have to start with the next topic, which is MySQL indexes. Okay, so to start with, first of all, what is index and why we have to make the use of indexing concept? Okay, just a minute. Screen तुम्हाला properly visible नहीं है ना? Or is it visible?
साइड लग रही
ग्रीन आलेला ना काहीतरी. हा, एक मिनिट. आप ओव्हरलॅप झाला असेल. Okay, ठीक है. So now it is visible. At least the slide is properly visible. So what is MySQL index? Index, like a database index, it is a database structure that improves the speed of operation in a table. Means I can say this index is a special type of lookup table which allows us to apply the indexing internally to our data. Okay, just like we can take an example of if I'm saying a book. In every book we have index. Okay, and that index specifies topic name and their corresponding page numbers. So why that indexing is required? It is used to search that topic faster. Okay, if I'll ask you to search for the specific topic without using an index, then obviously it will take more time for searching purpose. But when it comes to index, with the help of index, we can easily jump from the first page to the required, or you can say specified topic with the help of that indexing and the page number. So exactly the same concept is applied in MySQL. Okay, like it allows us to provide an index to our each and every row of a table. Okay, and with the help of that index, the data retrieval become faster. And just because data retrieval become faster, that's why the performance of our DQL query is also gain or increased. Okay, like indexes can be created using one or more columns, providing the basis for both rapid random lookups and the efficient ordering of access to the records. Okay, means it's totally our choice that we have to apply an index for which column. Okay, generally you need to apply an index for the column which is mostly used in a where condition for the data retrieval purpose, because on the basis of that column we are searching the data. Okay, You don't have to apply the data on a column which is not used in where condition, okay, because anyhow there is no use of that index, okay. So practically these indexes are also a type of tables which keep primary key or index field and a pointer to which record into the actual table. Okay, so just like I said that this is a type of like special type of lookup table which keep the indexing and the whole table data. Okay, means it will have its internal structure like two columns. The first column will keep the index and the second column will keep the complete record, okay, like a row. Then the users cannot see the indexes. They are just used to speed up the queries and will be used by the database search engine to locate records very fast. Okay, means when we apply indexes on a table, those indexes are not visible to the user. Okay, instead of that we can say that with the help of those indexes the database engine will search the data easily. Means what exactly happened, suppose if I have written the query as select star from employee where employee equal to 105 and that employee is not saved in a ordered manner. Okay, in that case what it will do, it will simply find out the index of that 105 eid. Okay, it will jump to that specific record and fetch the data and display it to the user. Okay, but this process is not externally visible to the client or you can say developer. The insert and update statements take more time on tables having indexes, whereas the select statement becomes fast on those tables. Okay, means in case of DML command this index work slower, but in case of DQL command it works faster. Okay, the reason is that while doing insert or update, the database needs to insert or update the index values as well. Okay, means we have to change the values of indexing. Okay, like at the time of deleting data you need to delete that data along with index, and if a single index is deleted from the whole list, the we need to change the position of other indexes also. Okay, so the like you can say work will be increased instead of decreased and it will take more time than the normal DML commands, and that's why the indexes should be avoided if you are using the DML operation more frequently on your table. Okay, now what are the types of indexes? So generally there are two types of indexes provided in MySQL. The first one is the simple index and another one is the unique index. Okay, like you can create a unique index on a table, and unique index means what, that the two rows cannot have the same index value. Okay, they should have the unique values. Okay, how the unique index can be created, create unique index name on table name and in bracket the columns on which you wanted to apply that index. Okay, similarly you can use one or more columns to create an index. Okay, so we just have to provide the multiple indexes, oh sorry, column name over there. And another is like they have given the example like create unique index author index on tutorials table in bracket tutorial author, because maximum time the tutorials are searched on the basis of index also. Okay,
Hello. Hello. आवाज नाही येते मॅम.
okay. हॅलो, हा हा हा, नाही मी म्यूट केलेलं ऍक्च्युली, इथून कॉल येत होता म्हणून.
ओके.
Okay, so now just like I said that unique index can be created with the help of unique keyword, and in the same way we can create a simple index also. Okay, so just omit the unique keyword, means you just have to write create index name on table name. Okay, like a simple index it allows duplicate values in a table. Okay, that's the simple thing about the simple index. Okay, and generally this unique index is applied by default on a primary key column, Means whenever you will apply the primary key constraint, this unique index is also applied. Okay, then they have given some alter command to make the changes within a table. Okay, as well as we can change the indexes on the table. Okay, so we'll see those alter command later. First of all, I will create an index first. Okay, so wait, I'll share the screen with you. Okay, let's make the use of, oh wait, just a minute, my keyboard is not working. I'll just check with the begin. Use MyDB. Okay, the database has been changed. Now, once it is changed, let's check the data first. Select star from employee. Okay, so this is the table, and for retrieving this table, it took 10 seconds. Okay, now let's write the query as select star from employee where ID equals to 105. Okay, done. Now if it is a larger table, then generally for searching the data it take more time. Just like here it shows that 2 seconds. Within 2 seconds the data has been retrieved. Okay, now let's apply the index on this table. So just like they have given, how the index can be applied? Create index name, say emp index. On which table? I wanted to create that index on employee table. And on which column? Maximum time you can search the data on the basis of ID only. So let's apply it on a ID. Okay, so the index is applied to all the columns. Search the query again, and you can see the difference between this and this. Here, for searching the data, it took how many seconds? 0.02 seconds. And when I apply the index on that same table on ID column, so when I search the data with the help of ID, it took in 0.0 second. So this is how the data retrieval time will be increased. Okay, understood the concept of index practically?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes.
because generally this indexes are applied whenever there is a huge amount of data present in a table, and we can say we are performing the frequent operation on that table for the retrieval. Like take an real world example. If you are creating any shopping website or any maximum time, okay, like amazon.in. Okay, so on we are seeing the products on the basis of their name. Okay, so if I'm searching the product on the basis of their name and the categories, then it is always a better choice to apply an index on product name column and the category column. Okay, so the advantage would be what? In general, if it took like say 10 minutes for searching a basic like product details without applying an index, then after applying index it may take only 5 minutes for searching the same data. Okay, like in case of our college database also, there are some tables on which we can apply this index. Now how you will use the alter command to change that index. Okay, so alter command to add and drop the index, like
Hello.
alter table name. Hello, ha.
मॅम इंडेक्स कमांड आपण फक्त एकच कॉलमवर अप्लाय करू शकतो की एकपेक्षा जास्त?
नाही, मल्टिपल कॉलम वर पण करू शकतो. ऍट अ टाइम तू डायरेक्टली ब्रॅकेट मध्ये असे 2 कॉलम देऊ शकतोस. लाईक फॉर एक्झाम्पल जर मी इथे क्वेरीज स्पेसिफाय करतेय, वेट हा मी दुसरा टेबल सिलेक्ट करते फक्त, किंवा इथेच आपण नेम आणि सॅलरीवर पण अप्लाय करूया, नो इश्यूज. सो वी कॅन, आणि सपोज जर युनिक इंडेक्स अप्लाय करतोस तर create unique index, I'll say index 2 on employee in bracket, will say name comma salary. Okay, so this is how the index can be applied on multiple columns, and that is also a unique type of index. Okay, so name equal to, I will say ABC. Let's see whether that name is available or not. Yeah, it is available, and the data is retrieved within a 1 second. Okay, so this is how it can be retrieved. Okay, and this is how unique index can be applied. Now, how you will make the changes within a index? Okay, so hello.
हं.
Okay, हा बोल.
नाही नाही.
हा ओके, मला वाटलं काही डाऊट आहे. ओके, सो टू मेक द चेंजेस विदिन एन इंडेक्स यू जस्ट हैव टू यूज alter command as alter table name, add primary key and the column list. Okay, but this is the alter command which used to like add primary key column, which means that the indexed values must be unique and cannot be null. Okay, so just like I have already said that whenever we are applying any primary key on a table, for that column the unique index is by default applied. You don't have to make any changes, or you don't have to externally apply an index for the primary key column. Okay, similarly, if I wanted to change or sorry, if I want to apply an index after creating a table, okay, then we have another option, that you can use alter table name, add unique index name, and in bracket the column list. Okay, so in general, by using create index, what we have to write, create index name on table name. But here, just because I'm already providing that alter table name, okay, so we are specifying that we have to apply an index on this table. But this will apply which type of index? Unique index. And in the same way, if you wanted to apply a basic index, then you can use just add index keyword. Okay, then full text index, this can be also applied by using full text keyword. Now, what is the use of that full text index? It is used for the text searching purpose. Okay, means generally if you're searching the data by using varchar columns, then it is better to apply full text index instead of the simple index or unique index. Okay, so these are the three different ways of adding an index on a table by using alter command. Okay, like I'll just write down those queries over here. Alter table, say emp, add index index1 in bracket. I think I have name column on emp table. So within an emp table, that index is applied. In the same way, if I want, I can add unique index. So for that purpose, you just have to give unique keyword, say index3 on did column. Oh, I think in emp that did column doesn't exist. Oh, it has d underscore id. Now you can see, this is what I want. Like whenever I try to apply unique index on a column which already contains duplicate values, so it immediately gives an error, that is duplicate entry 10 for key index 3. Okay, so in case of unique index, duplicate values are not allowed. Okay, now if I wanted to create the full text index, let's say create table department, add full text index, that is index 4 on which column? Say name column of the department. Okay, so this is how an indexing can be applied. Done. Now another is, if you wanted to add simple index with the index name, like this code is an example to add an index in an existing table. Okay, but in this case, that index must be previously created. Okay, and you just have to add the same index on a table. Okay, and if you want to drop any index, then you just have to write alter table name, drop index name. Okay, then um, to add and modify the primary key, or like to add primary key, how to use alter command, that I have already given, so you don't have to learn this concept again. Now, what if you wanted to display the index information from the table? Means on which table we have applied which index, and that too on which column, that can also be displayed. Okay, just like we can use show databases, show tables, those command to show the databases and to show the table information. Similarly, I can view the index information. So you can use show index command to list out all the indexes associated with the table, and the vertical format output that is specified by /g often is useful with this statement. Okay, to avoid the line wrap around, long line wrap around. Okay, so show indexes name. Let's see how it can be applied. Show index from employee. Okay, so you can see on employee tables, uh, table coordinate, then non-unique subpart, key pack, that is primary key value, indexes, everything is displayed. Okay, on which column, that is there is a id, name, salary, and id column. So by default id is a primary key column, so first index was already applied over there. Okay, then a second one is what, id with emp index name. Okay, because I have given the index name as emp index, and then I have applied unique index on name and salary, so that index is also applied. Okay, so this is how index information can be displayed if you wanted to check. And this type of functionality is available only in MySQL. It is not there in like you can say sorry, it is not there in SQL Server or Oracle. Okay, that so that is all about index. Now one thing is not given over here related to index, and that question is generally asked in interview, that in which cases the index should be avoided. Okay, means when we have to avoid that index. So the like answer is, first one is, if the table is too small, then in that case index must be avoided. Second is, if we are using frequent operation, like frequent DML operation on a table, then in that case also index must be avoided. Then third one is, you should avoid applying index on a column which contains maximum null values. Okay, because if we are applying an index on a column which has null values, then for those null values also one index number is applied. Okay, which is totally a wastage of time. Like in general, whenever we are applying a search, sorry, select command simply ignore null values at the time of comparing, like if I'm using equal to. But in case of index, it will focus on that null value also, which we don't want. Okay, so these are the three cases in which the indexes should be avoided. Okay, I'll repeat. First one is if the table is too small, in that case there is no need of index. Second is if you are performing frequent DML operation, and the third one is it should not be used on the column which has null values or more null values. Okay, so understood the concept of index.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, beta, I'll give one more command, and then we'll copy the whole code on. Drop index name. Sorry, I need to use alter table name and then drop index. Okay, so let's just copy this code so that I can share it with you. Okay. Done. So let's start with the next concept now, which is MySQL view. Okay, so this MySQL view is used for creating a virtual copy of the table. Okay, like how? I'll explain. So a view, as they have given, it is created by the select statement, and select statements are used to take the data from the source table to make a view. Okay, so view is generally referred as a subset of a table or a virtual copy of a given table. Okay, it can be used for the security purpose, encryption purpose, data hiding purpose, etc. Okay, so let's see how to create a view first, and then I'll explain its uses. Okay, so for creating a view, we have a simple syntax like create or replace view name as select, and whatever the select command you have to provide, like select star from table where condition, joins query, subquery, anything we can provide with the help of view. Okay, so like here, as they have given, like at the time of using create view, generally they have given the syntax as what, create or replace view. Okay, so or replace option can be used only when the view already exists and you wanted to do some modification within that view. Okay, like if we do not specify this clause and a view already exists, the create view statement will return an error. Then view name, it is totally the user defined name, and where condition is also optional, which can be provided if you want to provide a selective data from the table. Okay, just like they have given the example for the view over here. Okay, now here the information, like more information related to the view is not given, so I'll explain that information manually. Sorry. So just like I said that view, it is a subset of a table or a virtual table which can be used for the security purpose. Means what? Like in general, whenever we are working with a table, like there are some cases in which we have to share some of the data of our table with the other users. Okay, means it's not required to share the whole table with the another users. Okay, you wanted to share only specific info, then in that case you should make the use of view, because within a view what I am doing is I'm specifying a select command, so I can decide that which data will become visible to the another user or will be used to the another will be given to the another user. Okay, so we have option to fetch the specific number of rows from the table or specific number of columns from the table, and only that data will be shared to the other users. Okay, so this is how we can achieve the security. Second, like we can also create a view if we have to fetch the result set by applying some joins, subqueries, such a kind of queries. Okay, like if the query is too complicated and we wanted to fetch such a kind of data for our application, then in that case we can go for the view. Okay, like another example is, let's say I have created cells January, cells February, then cell March, etc. Kind of tables for storing the cells detail of every month. And at the end of the year, what I want is I wanted to represent the yearly cell to the user. Okay, so to represent that yearly cell, you need to make the use of this view. Okay, where I can apply union and I can merge all those tables together and display to the user, or you can say client. Okay, so these are the uses of view. Now, how to fetch the data from the view, how to alter view, that also given over here. So let's see all the queries one by one. Okay. Now, in case of views also, there are two types given. So there is a simple view and there is a complex view. Okay. How? Let's see. Suppose if I'm creating a view as, wait, I'll check the data of employee table first and then I'll create a view. Select star from EMP. Okay, so I have these many detail, and what I want is I wanted to create a view which will store the data of only department ID 10. I can say data of only IT department. Okay, so I can create a view as create view name. Let's say EMP view. You can give any name. Then as select star from EMP, where D underscore ID equal to 10, because I wanted to fetch the data of only department ID 10. So done, our view is now created. Let's check that what data is stored within that view. Okay, so to fetch the data, we can use select star from EMP view. Okay. Now you can see I have applied the query on a view just like we will apply on a table. Okay, means on table also generally we have to write the command as select star from employee. In the same way, here I have written select star from employee view. Okay, so we will be able to apply such a kind of queries on a view. It's just because view is a subset of a table. Okay, now this view is called as simple view. Okay, and that's why let's check whether we can apply DML command on this view or not. Okay, so if I'm using insert into EMP view values in bracket, um let's apply the value like 108, the name and ID. You can see the one row is inserted, but now where this row has been affected, only within a view or in a table also, that's what we have to check. Okay, so let's fetch the data from EMP table and check whether this row is added in EMP table or not. So you can see over here, this row is also added within a EMP table. And that's why I said that this is a type of simple view. So what is simple view and a complex view concept? Simple view, it fetch the data from only one table. And it also allows us to apply the DML queries on it. Okay, and complex view, it is a type of view which allows us to fetch the data from two or more table or makes the use of some group functions. Okay, and that's why we cannot apply DML command on such a type of view. Okay, so first simple view concept is done. Now what are the other ways of creating view? I can also create a view as create view employee department sorry, as select star from EMP comma department Like I'm applying the join query over here, where emp dot d underscore id equal to department dot did. So here I have created a view which will store the data from both table. Okay, but you can see what is the error. The column name is duplicate in both the table. Okay, and that's why that name cannot be used within a single view, because when we are creating a view, the column name given in a view always match with the column name given in a table. Okay, so here what I have to do is I need to use, say, let's say select e dot name as what, employee. I'm fetching only the employee and department information, and similarly d dot name as what, department, from emp as e comma department as d, where e dot did equal to d dot did. Done. Our view is created. Let's fetch the data from the view. So select star from emp department. You can see employee and their corresponding department names are displayed. So if you wanted to show this type of information at user interface level, means you can say at application level. I can say in Python, if I wanted to show this data to the user on click of a button or on selection change of any department, anything, then it can be retrieved with the help of view. You don't have to write this huge, or you can say long command within our like you can say code. Okay, you just have to write select star from view name. Now let's try to insert the data on this view, because we have to check whether this type of command is allowed on a complex view or not. Let's say it. You can see column count doesn't match value count at row 1. Okay, why? Because it, like we are we are specifying how many columns. Sorry, by mistake I have given emp view. It's emp department. Cannot insert into join view, that is emp department, without fields list. Okay, so it allows, sorry, it asks you to provide the field name also, and then only it allow us to insert. Okay, but with, like if I'm inserting the data within a table, what will happen? For the other details, it will give the value as null, which should not be happen. Okay, so this is what the concept of complex view. Similarly, the another example of complex view is, say, emp summary as select mean salary as what. Now whenever we are providing group functions expression within a view, it's mandatory that you have to provide some column name, otherwise that view will give any, like, some error. Done. So this view is created, but currently I'm providing only the minimum and maximum salary. Now what I want is, I wanted to alter this view and provide some more information also. Okay, now the meeting will end within a minute, so we'll just reconnect. So for making the changes within a view, I will say that create or replace view, which way we have to replace emp summary as select mean salary as minimum salary, comma max salary as maximum salary, comma I wanted to fetch the total salary also. So sum of salary as total salary. Okay, so select star from employee. Done. This view is created. So this is how we can make the changes within a view. So select star from EMP summary. Done. Minimum salary, maximum salary, and the total salary will be retrieved from that employee table. Okay, and you can fetch the data from this view anytime you want. Okay. So to summarize that employee table, I can make the use of this type of view. Okay. Now, how to drop a view, how to make the changes within a view. Let's see the same. Now, to modify or to update the view, we can use which command? Alter command, as alter view name as the select command. Okay. But as like just now we had seen, there is no need to use alter command. Instead of that, you can simply use create or replace keyword. Okay. Then to see the created view, we can use show view. Okay. And to drop a view, we use drop view name. Okay. So it will simply drop that view if it exists, or it will give an error. Okay. So if exist can be used to avoid that error. Okay. Means it will drop that view only if that sorry, it will drop that view only if it exists. Okay. If I'm using show views, so that type of command is not available. So that view has been dropped. Okay. And if I'll use show tables, okay, so you can see within that table list only the views list is also given. Okay. Like EMP department, EMP summary, and if I want, I can describe that view. You can see within EMP department, two fields are created, employee and department, along with the type as varchar. It doesn't have any null, sorry, key. It doesn't have any default value, and it can accept null. Okay. This is how a view is created. Done. So here our module 4, sorry, module 3 is also completed. Okay. And now we have to start with the next module. Okay. I'll open the PPT. Wait. Okay. So now we have to start with the next module, which is module 4. And in this module, we have to learn about stored procedure, functions, and the trigger. Okay. But before starting with this stored procedure, function, and a trigger, there is one concept remaining, which is subquery. Now that subquery concept is not given in our PPT. Okay. I'll explain that manually. Okay. And it is one of the very important concept, because in case of interview, they will ask you to write the queries on subquery. Okay. And before that, I'll just copy the data of view first. So this is all about views concept. Now, okay, so just like I said, now next we have to learn the concept of subquery. Let's see how and where we have to use this. Now, what is subquery? Subquery is like a query within a query. Okay, means one query is written within another query. Now, when this subquery concept is required, generally there is a requirement of subquery whenever you have to like fetch the data from some other table or from the same table into the where condition. Okay, like if I'll ask you to fetch the employee information whose salary is the maximum salary, then just like we had seen at the time of using group function, if I'm using the query like select star from employee where salary equal to max salary, it generally fetch the information of a first record or first employee record from the table along with that maximum salary, which we don't want. We want the correct record, as if the maximum salary is 40,000, then which employee has that 40,000 salary, that information we have to fetch. Okay, so how it can be fetched? Like in general, when you write this command that select max salary from employee. Okay, so when I write this type of command, it will fetch the maximum salary. And what I have to do is I just wanted to assign this maximum salary to the main query. Okay, like through this I can retrieve the maximum salary. And what is the question? We have to fetch an employee detail which has maximum salary. So when someone will give you this type of question, think about the output first. Okay, so what is the result set? I want the result set as we need to fetch employee information. So write down the outer query on the basis of that result set. Like select star from employee. Now, on the basis of what we have to retrieve this data? We need to retrieve the data on the basis of salary. And what kind of value assigned to the salary column? It should fetch the maximum salary, and then that maximum salary value must be given in a where clause. Okay, so once the where condition is decided, you just have to write where on the basis of what I have to compare the data salary, and what data must be assigned within a salary column, that is the maximum salary. So you can do one thing, you can put this another query within a main query. Okay, and this is called as a sub query, that is a query within a query. Now in this case, the query which is written in a bracket is called as inner query, and the main query is called as outer query. It will retrieve the output from the inner query and assign it to the outer query, and on the basis of that the values will be retrieved. Okay, so let's try to execute the same type of query on a table first, and then I'll explain the multiple type of subqueries. Let's say
सॅलरीची स्पेलिंग हे झाली.
ha ha ha. Okay, so now you can see there is an employee with the name as E, which has maximum salary, that is 25,000. Okay, now the data is retrieved properly. So this is called as a subquery. Now here I'm applying this subquery on a single table, but there is a requirement where you can apply the subquery on a multiple tables also. Okay, now one more thing. There is one question related to this asked, that what if you wanted to find out the employee details which has second highest salary or the third highest salary, so how you will fetch? Okay, so this is a kind of a homework question for you, assignment question I can say, that you have to write the query to find out nth highest salary of the employee. currently I'm fetching only the highest salary. You have to fetch either a third highest, means I need a dynamic query. Okay. Because sometimes maybe I can ask you to find out the third highest, fourth highest, anything. Okay, done. So तुम्हाला हा टास्क करायचा आहे. आता next, let's say I have given you the question as fetch employee detail which belongs to IT department or which belongs to CS department. Okay, so now I have EMP table which has department ID column, but there is a column with department ID, not department name. And what is my question? I have to fetch the detail of the employee which belongs to or which is working for the IT department. Okay, now how you will identify that which is the department ID for IT department? Okay, because when it comes to user interface at UI level, how you will show the screen? There is a screen where we have select department name option, and then on click of show button you have to show the employees. So the user will select department name and pass that department name to us, and what we have to write, we need to write the query on the basis of that department name. So in that case, again, there is a requirement of writing a subquery. Okay, like, again, think about the output first. What output we require? I need to fetch an employee detail. So obviously I'll write the query as select star from which table? EMP. On the basis of what? Department name. Now the problem is department name column is not available in EMP table. So try to find out the similarity between these two tables. Like department name is available in which table? Department. And department table also has one column called as DID. And that same column is available within a employee table. Okay, so you can try to find out the department ID from department table and assign it to the department ID of employee table, like where I can set DID equals to select DID from department where name equal to IT. Done. So you can see the data of IT department will be retrieved with the help of this subquery. Okay. So this is how a subquery on a multiple table can be written. Because the execution of subquery is like what? It execute the inner query first. So first of all, it will execute select DID from department where name equal to IT. So what department ID it will retrieve? 10. And the department ID will be assigned to what? Outer query. Okay. And then it will fetch the information of the employee which belongs to DID 10. Okay. Now, at a time, if I'll ask you to fetch the information of the employee which belongs to IT as well as CS department, okay, then obviously we will modify this query as where name, I will say in IT, comma, oh wait, in single quotation mark, CS. Okay, so you can see the error. Subquery returns more than one row. Now, what is it exactly? In case of subquery, you need to follow some rules. What are the rules? If the inner query returns multiple values, then you have to use multi-valued function for the outer query. Okay, like here for the outer query, instead of equal to, I have to write what? In. Okay, this is the first rule. Second, the inner query should not return the value of more than one column. Like here, I cannot write select star. I have to write it as select DID. Okay, so these are the two rules which we have to follow at the time of writing subqueries. Now it is working properly. So the department ID 10 and 20, both details are retrieved now. Okay, understood the concept of subquery?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now on the basis of this, आता just थोड़ा काही queries मी तुम्हाला करायला देणार आहे simultaneously. You just have to take 2 minutes and you have to solve it simultaneously. ओके, इट्स लाईक असाइनमेंट, बट मी जनरली ते क्लासमध्येच करून घेते, त्यामुळे तुम्हाला मी आत्ताच देते येते. Like simple. I'll create some table over here. So you can take a pen and book meanwhile, or you can do it on your phone also. Like CID and name. This is the first table which has 2 columns. Then second table is branch, which has branch ID, name and client ID. Then third table is branch service, which has branch ID and service ID. And the last table is service, which has service ID, service name, and the last one is fee, that is service fee. Done. मी फक्त टेबल स्ट्रक्चर देते आणि आता याच्यावरच तुम्हाला क्वेरीज लिहायच्या आहेत. लाईक एक क्वेरी सपोज मी सांगते, what if I'll ask you to fetch the branch detail which has client ABC. Okay, or you can say the client ABC is working for which branches. You just wanted to find out the detail. Then how you'll find out? What is the question? We have to fetch the branch detail. So I will obviously write the query as select star from branch where. On the basis of what we have to retrieve that data? आपल्याला client ID च्या accordingly करायचं आहे. So CID equals to what you will write? Select CID from client where. कशाच्या accordingly हवा आहे? Name equal to ABC. Done. So this query is returned. हा झाला एक डेमो. आता तसंच you can see all of these 4 tables are connected directly or indirectly with each other. How? हा CID column इथे रेफर केलेला आहे आपण. Similarly, branch ID column is referred over here, and this SID column is referred over here. So I can say branch and this service, 2 tables are connected with each other by using what? Branch service. Similarly, client आणि service कसे connected आहेत? This client ID is connected with this, through which we can find out the branch ID. Then through this branch ID, I can find out the service ID, and through this service ID, I can find out the service detail. Understood? की हा 4 टेबल मध्ये रिलेशन कसं आहे? ओके, सो आता नेक्स्ट मी क्वेरी देते तुम्हाला. Friend, fetch branch details which uses accounting service. Done. Write down the query for the same. एक कुठेही रफ क्वेरी लिहा आणि then you just have to dictate. Okay, so just take 2 minutes time and try to write down the query. आणि मग मी सांगते त्यात काय मॉडिफिकेशन करावे लागतील. ओके, हॅलो, क्वेश्चन समजला?
येस मॅम.
हा, सो जस्ट ट्राय करा. इथे 3 टेबलवर तुम्हाला क्वेरी लिहायच्या आहेत. ओके, ब्रांच आणि सर्व्हिस ह्या दोन्हींवर रिलेशन आहे आणि त्यासाठी तुम्ही ब्रांच सर्व्हिस टेबल यूज करणार आहात. ओके, सो यू हॅव टू राईट द query on all 3 tables, and there are 3 subqueries. Okay, so now I have given you the hint. You just have to write down the query. Okay. चालू आहे. हॅलो.
करते.
हा हा ठीक आहे. झालं की जस्ट लगेच सांगा मला. You'll have 1 more minute. हॅलो. झालं कोणाचं कंप्लीट? हा. So what is the query according to you?
तीन एक म्हणजे पहिले सिलेक्ट
First
स्टार
काय ना
फ्रॉम
select star from.
ब्रांच वेअर
हा.
BID
BID equals to.
then where P is equal to from
नाही थांब. एक
BID
मिनिट.
from branch
I'll just type this simultaneously.
SID
आवाज
is
करते.
equal
तुझा आवाज ब्रेक होतोय खूप. It will be like select star from branch. Now I'll write down the query. Just cross check with your query. Okay. Where BID equals to. But
Okay.
instead of equal to, what you have to do is you need to write in. Now why? Because there are chances that multiple branches may uses this single service. Okay. तिथे one to many relationship असू शकतो. Okay. So it's always better to use in. Then in bracket select BID from which table? Branch service.
सर्विस.
Wait, I think.
branch service.
Where इथे आता येईल SID
SID.
equal to. इथे तुम्ही equal to देऊ शकता because there is only one service available. Where SID equals to, again in bracket select SID from which table? Services or service. Where मग इथे काय येईल? Name equals to, आपण नेम देणार आहोत accounting, and then bracket complete. So have you written the same type of query? दोघांची पण होती करेक्ट?
नेक्स्ट शेवटची चुकली माझी. वेअर SID इज इक्वल टू सिलेक्ट SID. आणि इथे मी इन
अच्छा, तिथे थोडंसं रॉंग झालं. हा, तिथे स्टार्टिंगला जनरली सगळे इक्वल टू लिहितात. हे आपण इन का करतोय? कारण की जसं लाईक मी बोलली की एक सर्व्हिस मल्टिपल ब्रांचेस यूज करू शकतात. मग ब्रांच सर्व्हिस मध्ये मल्टिपल ब्रांच आयडी साठी सेम सर्व्हिस आयडी असू शकतो, आणि तेव्हा मल्टिपल व्हॅल्यू रिटर्न होतील ज्या आपल्याला इन ऑपरेटर थ्रू प्रोव्हाइड करायला. ओके.
फॉर सेकंड साइड आपण नेहमी
That's why.
इन टाकलं तरी चालेल ना?
चालेल, हो. तू इनफॅक्ट सगळीकडे जरी इन दिला तरी नो इश्यूज.
म्हणजे ते
ओके,
SID
ते
नंतर
बेटर
पण
असतं
तिकडे
टू अवॉइड दॅट एरर. ठीक. SID इक्वल टू इथे पण इन दिला तरी चालतो, नो इश्यूज. बट जस्ट बिकॉज वी आर कॉन्फिडंट दॅट की SID एकच असू शकतो म्हणून मी ते स्पेसिफिकली इक्वल टू लिहिला. बट जिथे तुम्ही कॉन्फिडंट नाही आहात की लाईक मल्टिपल व्हॅल्यूज कॅनॉट बी रिटर्न, So that time you have to use in. Okay, हे झालं. आता second. Next one is find out the services. Sorry. Used by client XYZ. Okay, this is your question. You need to find out the services which are used by client XYZ. Now you need to make the use of all 4 tables. So just try. Question समजला ना? तुम्हाला क्लायंटच्या नेम वाईज सर्व्हिसेस फाइंड आउट करायचे.
आणि ते सर्व्हिसचं टेबल आहे त्याच्यात लास्ट वन काय आहे? SFEE
सर्व्हिस फी.
सर्व्हिस फी आहे ना.
हा, पण त्या रिलेटेड अजून मी काही क्वेश्चन नाही केला. त्याचा नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन असणार आहे त्या रिलेटेड असेल. आता तुम्हाला फक्त सर्व्हिसेसचे डिटेल फेच करायचे ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ क्लायंट नेम. बिकॉज जनरली इन इंटरव्ह्यूज, मॅक्झिमम इंटरव्ह्यूज मध्ये जेव्हा डेटाबेसवर क्वेश्चन येतात ते फक्त तुम्हाला टेबल स्ट्रक्चर आणि आउटपुट टेबल किंवा अशी क्वेरी देतात. यू हॅव टू राईट द क्वेरी. And in real world applications, maximum time we have to make the use of subqueries. Okay, so that's why this is important. ठीक है, आता just query लिहा and again after 2 minutes we will check. Done.
एकच मिनिट मॅम, एकच मिनिट.
हाँ हाँ ठीक है. हाँ लावलं सध्या मी. हो 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 लावलं. संकेत
वेट मॅम.
and हेमंत.
एकच मिनिट.
हम्म.
Select star from hello.
हॅलो. हा.
Select star from services where BID select
BID येईल की SID येईल?
SID.
कारण बघा
SID.
आता आपण कनेक्ट इथून इथे करणार, देन हे इकडे करणार, असं होणार आहे ते क्रिस क्रॉस काइंड ऑफ थिंग. दिस SID विल बी कम्पेअर विथ दिस SID. हा.
ते
Like,
SID पुन्हा
wait,
ते
I'll
ब्रांच
write down.
सर्व्हिस.
So suppose select star from services where SID, here we have to use in. आता सगळीकडे in लिहायचं आहे बिकॉज देर आर चान्सेस की मल्टिपल सर्व्हिस आयडी असू शकतात. सो सिलेक्ट SID फ्रॉम, नाव यू हॅव टू राईट ब्रांच सर्व्हिस again where BID in bracket you will write select BID from which
branch.
table? Branch where CID equal to, now here you can write equal to select CID from client where name equal to XYZ. Okay, simple है. You just have to compare the columns. जेव्हा तुम्ही इथे SID लिहिताय तर सिलेक्ट लिस्ट मध्ये SID रिटर्न झाला पाहिजे. If I'm writing BID, then through select list I have to return BID. Okay, so we need to show the relationship with the help of this query. Okay, करेक्ट होती की थोडा कुठे मिस्टेक झालेला?
तेच पहिला मिस्टेक झाला होता फक्त.
इथे फक्त BID लिहिलेला. हा. अँड व्हॉट अबाउट संकेत?
नाही मॅम, मी पहिले क्वेश्चन हे केलेला, त्याच्यामुळे मी रिव्हर्स ऑर्डर मध्ये जात होतो वरून.
अच्छा, तू सिलेक्ट स्टार फ्रॉम क्लायंट केलंस का? हॅलो.
मी नेम घेऊन रिव्हर्स
ओके.
क्लायंट कन्सिडर करून रिव्हर्स मध्ये जात होतो.
तेच, तू क्लायंट थ्रू सर्व्हिसेस फेच करायला गेलास ना, म्हणजे उलट केलंस क्वेरी. ठीक आहे. नाव द लास्ट क्वेरी which is you need to find out the branch detail which uses services with maximum service fee. Okay, I can say fetch branch details which uses service with maximum SFI, I can say. ओके, सर्व्हिस फी. आता इथे तुम्हाला सर्व्हिस नेम वगैरे काही दिलेलं नाहीये. तुम्हाला फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मॅक्झिमम सर्व्हिस फी फाइंड आउट करायची आहे. त्याच्या अकॉर्डिंगली सर्व्हिस आयडी फाइंड आउट करून मग ब्रांच डिटेल हवे. ओके, सो जस्ट ट्राय टू फाइंड आउट द ब्रांच डिटेल. ओके, Now write down the query for the same. Question समजला?
हो.
ठीक आहे, बिकॉज हे आपण सेकंड जी क्वेरी लिहिली आहे ना, सिलेक्ट स्टाफ फ्रॉम ब्रांच, ऑलमोस्ट तशीच आहे, फक्त लास्ट क्वेरी मध्ये चेंज येणार आहे. सो यू कॅन जस्ट राईट डाऊन दॅट लास्ट क्वेरी. द रिमेनिंग क्वेरी लाईक दिस वन इज एक्झॅक्टली सेम.
शेवटला असं येणार म्हणतो सिलेक्ट मॅक्झिमम
फक्त
त्याच्यामध्ये ब्रॅकेट मध्ये
नाही, डायरेक्टली मॅक्झिमम नाही येणार ना, बिकॉज तू वेअर एसआयडी लिहिलायस, एसआयडी इथे म्हटल्यावर इथे पण एसआयडीच असला पाहिजे. मग इकडे काय चेंज करणार ते बघायचंय.
बरोबर. टेबल दाखवा ना मॅम.
फ्रॉम सर्व्हिस.
Okay, select SID from service where maximum bracket मध्ये SFA.
Where SFE is equal to ब्रॅकेट मध्ये नंतर मॅक्झिमम SFE वाला आहे ना.
परत
ओके.
राईट. म्हणजे इथे तुम्हाला मी जस्ट आता हवं तर ती मॉडिफाईड वाली क्वेरी खाली लिहिते. You just have to make only one change. Select SID from service where service fee equals to, again मग ब्रॅकेट मध्ये येणार परत, select max service fee from service. बस हे फक्त एक एक्स्ट्रा चेंज येणार आहे. मग असंच कधी कधी ते ग्रुप बाय क्लॉज वाल्या पण क्वेरी सब क्वेरी मध्ये देतात. देन वी हॅव ऑप्शन दॅट वी कॅन यूज सब क्वेरी अलॉंग विथ DML कमांड ऑल्सो. म्हणजे तुम्ही असं पण लिहू शकता की अपडेट, सपोज कन्सिडर करा की लाईक ब्रांच ABC ज्या सर्व्हिसेस, ब्रांच ए सपोज जी सर्व्हिस यूज करतो त्या सर्व्हिसेसची फी तुम्हाला 5,000 ने इन्क्रीज करायची. So you can also write the command as update service set S fee equals to, set equal to लिहिलं, set S fee equal to S fee plus 2,000. म्हणजे जर 2,000 इन्क्रीज करणार असाल तर where SID in or equal to, तुम्ही काही देऊ शकता, मल्टिपल सर्व्हिसेस असतील तर सिलेक्ट SID फ्रॉम. आता इथे फर्स्ट कुठून SID फेच होईल, ब्रांच सर्व्हिस वेअर BID in, सिलेक्ट BID फ्रॉम ब्रांच वेअर नेम इक्वल्स टू A. असं म्हणजे ब्रांच नेम A चा ब्रांच आयडी मिळेल, मग त्या ब्रांच आयडीच्या कुठल्या सर्व्हिसेस आहेत त्या मिळतील आणि त्या सर्व्हिसेसची फी 2,000 ने इन्क्रीज होईल. सो वी कॅन ऑल्सो हॅव ऑप्शन टू यूज DML कमांड. सो अंडरस्टूड द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ सब क्वेरीज. Okay, so here our module 4 is also module 3 is properly completed. Now we have to start with module 4, but I'll start module 4 in a next lecture. Okay, and then our MySQL will be completed. Okay. Hello.
मग इथे कसं आपण 4 टेबल हे केले होते, फेच केले होते, 4 टेबल म्हणजे यूज केले होते, तशा किती पण करू शकतो म्हणजे मल्टिपल.
हो, बट ऑल टेबल शुड हॅव सम काइंड ऑफ रिलेशनशिप. म्हणजे डायरेक्ट नसेल तरी इनडायरेक्टली रिलेशन असलं पाहिजे तर. ओके, जसं इथे क्लायंट आणि सर्व्हिस मध्ये डायरेक्ट नव्हतं, पण ब्रांच आणि ब्रांच सर्व्हिसेस थ्रू ते कनेक्टेड होते, तसं वाला असलं पाहिजे.